because some people think people are evil who are in prison, as you just said.
I mean, to me, evil is an entity.
Protect your kids from men like Irvin. This is all a show. Irvin has practiced mimicking a good person. It's not in his heart. If it were, then killing another person would have never been an option.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
Oh, yeah. Now.
Wait, hang on. What's your response?
Wait, how many people think Irvin changed? Raise your hand. How many people think he changed? So whoever watching right now.
I didn't come out angry and bitter and hostile because I learned during that period about myself. I am not an angry person. I'm not a hostile person. I'm not a bitter person. I learned about not necessarily just myself, but I learned about us as human beings, as a family, as a tribe.
We're always in tension when we're talking about humanizing and seeing the complete and utter value and dignity in someone making a mistake. What does the victim deserve?
When I was sentenced to life in prison, when I was arrested actually in 1969, before man walked on the moon, before Woodstock, which some of you might have heard about, before McDonald's was a household word. I was your age, basically. I was your age with a life sentence. And I prayed every day that I did not die there. You understand? Because in Pennsylvania, a life sentence is until you die. It's not like you see on television, 15 to life, 20 to life, 25 to life. The judge does not have to say in Pennsylvania, I sentence you to life without parole, because that in effect would be being redundant. He doesn't have to say that because there's never been parole for lifers in Pennsylvania. So, I'm your age, in the penitentiary with a life sentence. And with all my heart, everything within me, I did not think I was going to die there. And I made up my mind to do any and everything that I could to show people in positions of power, authority, policy making, legislation, that I deserved a second chance.
What made you think you deserved a second chance?
Because I know me.
What did you know?
I knew who I was as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
I know intrinsically, like all of you, know who you are. You know whether or not you're a good person or not. Pardon my expression, you know whether or not you're a too. You know that. But there's ability and opportunity for change in all of us, in all human beings. We grow, we develop, we mature, we change. If we're lucky, if we're blessed. So I knew that enough about myself to know that I was not an evil person who did not merit redemption.
How soon after you were there was that thought in mind that you were like, I deserve?
Actually, the thought was always there. It was there from the day they put the handcuffs on me. It was there the day that I was sentenced, the day that I went to Graterford Penitentiary in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Most notorious prison in the state. 50-foot walls. I mean, dark, dank, dirty, dangerous. All of these things. I knew that then.
How different are you, or did you see that you were from other people around you who also had sentences that, because some people think people are evil who are in prison, as you just said.
I mean, to me, evil is an entity. But I have met some people that bordered on that threshold of being evil, which is why today I am not necessarily an abolitionist.
Can you say more?
I don't believe that prisons should be razed to the ground today. I hope we can evolve to the point where we don't need prisons anymore. where we can act as if we understand what it is to be human. We can act morally, ethically. We can act with respect and dignity. But that's going to take some while. That's going to take some time. You guys understand what I'm talking about, because we as human beings can be complex and mean. So, in answer to your question, of course, I am no exception. I am not. There's so many brothers and sisters that are serving life sentences or that are in prison, period. They should be home. They should be home, should be out here. Should be with their families, their friends, their loved ones, should be with their community, should be making the kinds of changes and differences as they're making on the inside.
So this is one of the things that maybe we could put up some of the comments, because I think we're already in that territory.
Sure.
So this, I want you to look at that one. Protect your kids from men like Irvin. This is all a show. Irvin has practiced mimicking a good person. It's not in his heart. If it were, then killing another person would have never been an option.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
Oh, yeah. Now.
Wait, hang on. What's your response? Wait, hang on.
I feel like that's mad disrespectful. Because, like, not saying that Irvin did something that was okay. Obviously, it's not okay. But, like, he's actively showing that he's went through a transition in life. He's changed and he's doing something better. Speaking to all of us. So, like, I don't even think we should have even showed that question. That's drawn. Like, I wish I could have seen who said that.
Well,
or the one that
here's the what I hear from you is that you're convinced when you listen to Irvin, as you did in the video, and you see him here, you're convinced that change happens and that transformation has happened to this person.
It's not even about a convincing. Like, I feel like it's obvious. Like, come on, man. He served a life sentence. Like, what do you think he... First of all, how old are you, Irvin?
78.
What the hell y'all think he gonna do at 78 years old?
You just came at him.
No, I don't know how to respond to that.
He came at you. Wait, okay, hang on.
First of all, you from the biddy just like me.
Wait, hang on. So I'm appreciating that, the passion of that, right? So this is what Irvin's mission is, to talk to people, to be an example of like, hey, change happens,
exactly.
Right? People aren't necessarily to be understood only by a mistake that they made, or even a way that they were, right? But there's also the perspective that some people don't change, or some people should be punished in ways that you won't accept, or that Irvin doesn't accept. So let's, please, yes.
Wait, how many people think Irvin changed? Raise your hand. How many people think he changed? So whoever watching right now.
No. I'm a person who went into the prison in 2004. The day I found that out. The day I met Irvin.
20 years ago.
20 years ago. I didn't go in there thinking, oh, these are a bunch of nice people who should be exonerated. I went in with a colleague who was taking his students there to learn, right? So I think, so anyway, I'm not appreciating the clapping. And why am I not appreciating it? Because I think there's more to, even though I am the person who, when Irvin and a bunch of other lifers walked into the room, I didn't even know they were the lifers. And my first thought was, who are these quality men? That was my first. They were in jumpsuits and whatever. That's how little I knew about prison, that I didn't even know that these were incarcerated men. But what stood out to me was that they seemed like quality men to me. And after many years of meeting with many of those men, I still think the same thing. But I don't think that that's everybody. And I don't think that people are, I just wouldn't go as quickly.
What I want to say about this comment here is that this guy doesn't even know how to spell my name correctly. He spells it two different ways. I know that's a surface kind of thing, but I know, yeah. I've struggled all my life I've struggled all my life to let people know my name is not Irving with a G. It's Irvin. Black-oriented Irvin. To this person, whoever this may be, I don't have animosity, antipathy. I say that is his opinion. And God bless him, and I hope he gets the possibility of change in his life, or realize that the majority of us do, that change is possible. Genuine, legitimate change is possible. A person doesn't have to operate necessarily out of their own truth, but operate truly. So that's my response to him.
I was less interested in a response to the person and more interested in the fact that there are many people who think that people who are in prison aren't worth having a second chance, or they aren't educated, or they're not changed by their experience. And I think it's important to understand and to speak to what it is that they're so worried about, or what it is that is so troubling. And I don't think that is something to brush off. I don't think in your case, Irvin, for sure, and many people that you know and that we both know, that this stands, right? This does not stand up to the truth. But there are many people who have thoughts for other reasons. So I just wonder what you think in terms of like the people that you've met. What do they see that you think is both, you understand why they see it, or you don't, but you understand what's behind that?
One of the reasons why human beings are so incredible is because we span the gamut in terms of opinion, thought, experience, which is why we grow and develop, God willing, into who we shall become. Everyone is not the same. It's just not, it's not. Everyone who is in prison does not necessarily deserve to be there. Everyone who has killing another person, that is so complex. Do we say that about the police officer? Do we say that about the soldier in war? Do we say that about the person who accidentally runs someone over? I mean, because we're saying killing another person. And I'm not just speaking to this individual, I'm speaking to people who are of necessarily that mindset that we don't deserve redemption. And I think we do. I think based on the nature of who we are as human beings and what's put before us, that we do deserve that. But we have to aspire toward that. Again, playing the game, they have so many ways of finding out whether or not you're playing a game or not.
Can you say more about that? Because that's really interesting.
I served 52 years in prison. I went to prison when I was 22 years old. I came out when I was just about 75 years old. I didn't come out angry and bitter and hostile because I learned during that period about myself. I am not an angry person. I'm not a hostile person. I'm not a bitter person. I learned about not necessarily just myself, but I learned about us as human beings, as a family, as a tribe, and that we don't live this world alone, and we need one another. So, what was best for me? To be angry about my lot, be bitter, to be despicable, to be evil? No. I wanted to be all that I could be. I wanted to be the person that I knew I was, which was a human being. And I thought I was a good person who had made a mistake. Horrible mistake, but made a mistake anyway, because intent to me mattered. I did not intend for this person to die. It was not my intent. I didn't go there where I went in these circumstances looking to kill someone, to harm someone. That was not me. But it was the same results. So, understanding that about myself which again, segueing into the other question that you asked about when did I recognize that I perhaps did not deserve to be there, was almost immediately. But I knew the politics and the circumstances were dead set against me or people like myself getting out.
How do you not care about people making judgments with something they're not even a part of?
Good question. I never said I didn't care, because I do. Again, one of the things I said when I responded to this person, when I responded to this line of thought, when I responded to this widespread acknowledgement that people have about people that have been in prison, one of the things that I definitely mean with all my heart again is that this person has their opinion. I respect that. But I still dignify this individual as a human being. So I'm not going to talk about him, I'm not going to sound him, I'm not going to catch him in the room, somebody and kick him. Even though the old me would have wanted to do that. Because I want to give him the opportunity perhaps to grow and change.
We are remiss if we don't talk about, and you would agree with this, Irvin, people who have been victims, right? I mean, there's someone who's lost their life, but there's other people who are victims. And so we're always in tension when we're talking about humanizing and seeing the complete and utter value and dignity in someone making a mistake, or even not making a mistake, making a purposeful act, but also being redeemed in some way. But what is it, I'm just asking all of us, right? But obviously we want to hear from you, Irvin. What does the victim deserve, right? Because Irvin and any of us can say, as soon as I did something wrong, I knew I was wrong, or whatever, right? Think of your own life experiences. But then somebody's been hurt, and that person is still hurt. And I know in our culture, we're very snarky about someone apologizing. Oh, really? That's easy to do, is apologize, but I'm still hurt, right? Or these people are still hurt. So as you thought about it over the years, Irvin, and as you do think about it, like where does that fit in with that tension between people who, well, as we all do, commit an act that harms and then the people harmed? Like, how long does it have to go on? How long does a punishment have to go on, or a restorative process?
That sounds like two different questions.
Yeah, it's two.
One is, how long does the punishment go on in light of this person and their personal change?
Exactly, yeah.
And the initial question was, what do we feel about the victim? Those are two different issues.
Well, in the sense of...
But again, listen to me. Every day of my life, I'm a spiritual kind of person. I believe in God. I believe in the universe. I believe in the designer in the universe, even if you don't necessarily believe in God. And I'm a prayerful man. And I don't pray for the benefit of other folk. I pray because of my relationship with the universal being, whoever that may be. And I pray every day. Every night, I pray. And I never pray without praying for the soul, the eternal soul of my victim. Ever. I've been doing this for 52 years. I pray for him, I pray for his family. All of us come from communities, and usually the harm that we inflict upon another is a person within our own community. The person that lost their lives lived in my community, wasn't a stranger. I know him, I know his family knows mine. And during this 52-year period, I've had the opportunity to make amends, at least to say I did, with his family, with my family, with myself, with God. So, to say that the victim is very seldom thought about, but again, we do think about the victims because they matter. The victim is not just a person that lost their lives. It's their friends, their families, their loved ones. It's the community itself from which both of us came. You want me to stop?
Well, I know there's a bunch of questions, so I want you to be able to receive those questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. Do it.
Tuesday, saying that we were basically condoning murder by having you here and kind of putting you on a pedestal, giving you an audience to talk to. And I was just wondering your response to that, why you keep coming back and sharing your story even when there's people who think that way.
I understand, because people need to hear my story. Dialogue facilitation means facilitating dialogue. And how can you have dialogue with monologues? You know? Victim-offender reconciliation is something that we started about 40, 45 plus odd years ago. And what does that mean? A person that has been victimized in our community, we bring them to a position, to a place, it's usually the penitentiary, where they can sit down and talk with the offender, with the person that caused the harm. And you would be surprised, or maybe not, at how many times the victim walked out of there feeling relieved. A catharsis of sorts, that I was able to sit down with this person and just tell them what I thought, tell them what I felt. Or I did not realize who this person was, this person that I thought was a monster. And without the exchange of stories, of tales, of experiences, that would never have happened. So some people, again, may look at me speaking, me being a person that presents at issues like this as someone who condones murder, but I don't. I don't. And again, a person, whomever they may be, is entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to begrudge them that. If I have the opportunity, and they give me the opportunity to speak to them, I will, in attempts to maybe change that. So thank you for your question.